Good morning, friends. This is Mayla. I'm back with another video today. We're going to do a garden tour. This is early, very early on Saturday morning. Um, I'm going to try to get my entire property all at once on today instead of splitting it into two videos like I have previously this summer. And let's see what we can do. This is the last day of August. It is August the 31st, and I want to just show you guys what's going on in my garden. The end of summer like this. It's a very the past week and a half, we have had milder temperatures in the morning. The lows have been like somewhere in the mid to high 60s and low 70s, and the highs have been in the 80s, anywhere from low to mid 80s. On those days where it is like sunny all day long in the 80s, it still gets hot, but much better than the 90s, the high 90s that we were having with heat indexes of 110 and 108. So I'll take it. I will take it any day. Um, this is Labor Day weekend. I am off work on tomorrow. We have a few things I need to do. I'm going to meet with my family later on this afternoon, and we're gonna go to one of our parks here and have a little family picnic. So I just decided to get up really early this morning before my Sunday gets going, and just take you guys around and show you what we've got going on. Um, so I'm going to start with my front. So let me grab the camera, turn around, and show you what we got. So here we are starting in my front doorway. I have my two tall planters with the Sprinter boxwoods. They are, this is their second season, I want to say, or maybe third season. Um, I have only been hand pruning them across the top whenever I have like tall little pieces that shoot up, but I believe maybe in the spring I will go ahead and start giving it a nice prune, and start to prune it into a ball, um, and see if we can start giving it a little bit of a better shape. It's put on a lot of growth, and I'm really happy with them. This one over here gets more sun than this one does, but that's the good thing with boxwoods. They can take sun or shade. So those two we have here, and then we have two on our back patio that I will show you guys later. Let me go to the Japanese maple garden bed. I call this the Japanese maple garden bed because we have two Japanese maples there in the back corner. I plan on getting one more. Um, Hopefully I can find it this fall and plant it in the fall, but if I cannot find it this fall, then I may have to wait until spring. I think I have decided what I want. I found it, but it was a little too expensive in the summer, so I decided to wait and kind of think on it, but I still think that's the one I want. It's the rainbow Japanese maple, and I want to put it back there where my slender hinoki cypress is, and then move the slender hinoki cypress up to the center. I have all of my hostas and heucheras. They are doing really well. Okay. Yes, I live near railroad tracks, so you may hear the train blow its horn a couple more times. But here are my, now this one, I love the guacamole. This is a guacamole, that's a guacamole, and that is a guacamole. It does not look really well because that is one that I transplanted in the heat of the summer. It was right there, but I dug it up and moved it back because I purchased a new um, purple daydream to put there. So it's struggling, but it'll survive. In the winter, when I cut back all of the dead leaves, it will come right back beautiful next spring. These are my Nandinas. This is the Obsession Nandina. In the springtime and in the summertime, when there's new growth, the top is like fiery red and it is really beautiful. You can see some red pieces like down in the front and up on the top, but when it's putting on lots of new growth in the growing season, it's like all of the top is red and vibrant. I've got to pull that out, and I have decided they are dead in all of the pots. In the heat of the summer, when we were having those like 2-week long heat waves, I had hooked up drip to everything, but I forgot to hook up drip to these pots because these were already planted in here, and I failed to come out here and water them. And even though junipers really can be drought tolerant, they took a beating. They took a hit. So um, they'll come out, and I will plant something else there. Not quite sure what though. Possibly something that blooms. Maybe some ground cover that can spill out of the pot that blooms. Um, Moving on around to my Helen Bunstein lamb's ear. This is the one that I am going to, when we redo this flower bed this fall, I'm going to dig these up, and then we'll line the entire front all the way around to the bird bath with the Helen Bunstein. I have already placed an order. They just have not arrived yet. These will get moved all the way back to where the globe arborvitaes are. So it'll be a fire chief arborvitae, globe arborvitae, fire chief arborvitae, globe arborvitae, and then fire chief arborvitae. And then along the middle, all the way around here in the center, is going to be my hedge of firelight tidbits. I already have 3. I have 4 more that are going to go right here, and the bench is going to come out. I'm going to move it out. We'll put it up for the winter. Maybe in the spring we might paint it and then put it back there by the trees. So yeah, these firelight tidbits are really doing well. I planted them in the heat of the summer, hooked them up to drip immediately, and they have put on lots of growth. I don't know if you guys remember when they arrived, a lot of the leaves were already dead and crispy. So I pulled some of them off. I cut back some of the stems, and they have put on lots of growth. We got one little tiny bloom. These are going to move out. These are the euphorbias, the Ascot rainbow euphorbias, and I have some here. I have some on the other side of my bench. Those will all move because the fire chief arborvitae is gonna go there, so we will put those somewhere else. But they are really putting on a lot of growth, and I love that these are evergreen. So I love this pop of color, the beautiful variegated leaves, and then on the tip it gives that pinky mauvey color with the red stems. It's just beautiful. My purple daydreams hedge. They are not all purple like they should be. Just recently learned from Jenny on Gardening with Creekside that she learned from Jim Putnam on HortTube that these bushes and shrubs and things that are supposed to be the evergreens that are supposed to have the purple and the burgundy foliage color, sometimes in the summer, in the heat of the summer, when it's really really hot and humid, it will kind of revert back to its green color, and that is because the tree is working so hard during those temperature. I'm not the tree, the specimen is working so hard during those high temperatures that it can't take up enough sugar to keep that purple and that burgundy foliage color. So that was something nice to learn. There's another dead juniper that we've got to move out. Here are my hydrangeas. This is the little lime, and At first, I kind of thought that that was mislabeled and that was really a Limelight, because the very first year it got huge and they were the same size planted at the same time. But now I'm starting to think that it really is a little lime, because the blooms are so much smaller than my Limelight in the backyard. I don't know why this one, the leaves aren't as full on this one as my little lime in my backyard. If you remember what this looks like, when we get to the backyard, I'll show you that one and you'll be able to see the difference. But I don't know if it's not getting enough water or what, but these are two little limes back to back. Here's my Paul's Gold, my slender Hinoki Cypress. It is filling out, and I do believe I need to kind of stake up that leader, the growth at the very top, stake it up so it can keep going up, growing up top. But yeah, but this tree has put on so much growth and filled out. And then I do believe when I move it here to the center, it'll be getting more sun and it'll do even better next year. This is my Tomokiyama Japanese maple, and it back here over in the corner in the shade, it is doing so much better than when I had it right here. It was getting too much sun and the leaves were burning. So I moved it back here about a year and a half ago. I switched these two out and it's doing better. And it's green now, but in the springtime, when it leaves out, and in the growing season, in the beginning of the summer, it's burgundy, and then it kind of takes on the green hue towards the middle of the summer to the end of the summer. This is my Veritas. Y'all, this thing I paid like $65 for 3 years ago. It was tiny, and look at it. It's put on so much growth. It is one of the low growing spreaders. I think I have never done much pruning on it, unless there was like a dead branch or something. But I think in the spring I'm gonna get after it and kind of prune up some of those lower branches and kind of lift up the canopy a little bit more so that you can see the hostas underneath it, behind it. This is the Empress Wu back here. Just walked into a spider web. This is my Empress Wu. It's back here snug in the corner. I bought it a tiny quart size, and so this is the second. I think I put it in the fall, last fall. So this is the first full season. Next year it should put on more growth, but it takes 3 or 4 years before these things gets to its mature size. That's the Empress Wu. This is the Wu La La. It will get just as big as the Empress Wu. And then that's an Empress Wu. This one is a little bit bigger than the other. Don't know why, but they're both doing really well. All right, this is my Blue Point Juniper that is doing really well. My boxwoods, and y'all, these were maybe about 4 winters ago. We had a very harsh winter, and I had a lot of dieback on these. I cut off a lot of dead branches and things, and then even like those two on the end had kind of like grown into each other. I separated them, and so I haven't been pruning them. I said I was just kind of gonna let them recover, but I think in the spring I'm going to go ahead and put the pruners to them and try to round them out and give them a better shape. I want them rounded instead of just looking like they do. And this is my other big Blue Point Juniper that is doing well. I got this on clearance because it had fallen over at Lowe's in the pot, and so like this side was like all smashed to the side, and some of it had some dead parts on the inside, but it was like $89 was the price, and I got it half off for like 43 or $44. Came home, staked it up, tied up some of the leaves, some of the branches that were leaning, and it has put on a good 1.5 feet. And this was just last year. This is my Annabelle hydrangea. We've been limping this along for about 3 years, but she's doing really well, and hopefully she will grow up and take up this whole entire space. This is my, and I don't know what is wrong with this thing. The very first year, this is his 3rd summer here. The very first year it got really big and beautiful. Then winter came, it died back, and then when it came back next spring, it came back, but it won't get any bigger than this. It's the foxtail fern, and so I mean it's a nice, beautiful shade of chartreuse green right here on this corner, but I really wanted to get big and have the weeping fern leaves like I see in the bigger ones in the store. I don't know, maybe this one is not hooked up to drip either, so I might hook that up to drip for next year and see what it does when it comes back. Let's go ahead and hit my 2 tree rings while we're up here. Y'all, this is going to be completely redone. We're going to remove all of those, remove everything in that one. I believe we are going to widen the tree ring, come out some more. I'm going to add some more bricks, probably widen, come out maybe another foot all the way around. We are going to remove that fabric. I don't think I need it, so we will remove the fabric. We will add in some topsoil, because underneath this tree there's not much soil there, and the plants don't do good because they're competing with the tree for moisture and soil and everything. So we are going to widen it because there's not much grass on the other side of those bricks anyway. We will add a bunch of topsoil, and then we will plant something evergreen all the way around, and just have something low growing and drought tolerant and very easy. I'm not going to try to do any of this. So all these hostas, the lamb's ear, the ascot rainbow, all that is going to move other places. If I get my plants that I'm going to plant here, I might go ahead and plant the plants this fall, but we won't do the widening and all that until the spring. But yeah, I just kind of decided I was going to go with something evergreen and low growing, kind of like the blue rug carpet, the junipers, or some type of cypress low growing evergreen or something like that, to just go around the bottom of both trees. I want to show you guys something else. So this is another little lime. You look at that big, huge bloom. And look at the color of the leaves on this one, and look at how big the leaves are versus those two over there, that the leaves are very yellow. So I don't know if they're iron deficient, and then the blooms are really small. I'm not sure what's going on over there in that corner. We'll have to investigate and see what we can do about that one. But all of my other little limes look like this. So on this side of my front door, we have the same setup as the opposite side with my hostas and my heucheras. The Helen Von Steen lamb's ear, and like on this side where we're going to go all the way around, on this side here we are going to extend it out this way until we get to the left side of the little walkway. Have another Obsession Nandina, another little lime hydrangea that is like flopped over, but look at these blooms starting to take on this little pink hue, this little blushy color. So pretty. And these boxwoods I will prune in the spring and make them more rounded. This is another Blue Point juniper. And then my beautiful tricolor dapple willow tree that I planted this summer. This is my rock garden that at some point, I doubt it'll be this fall, but maybe in the spring, we are going to take up all of that wood mulch and we are going to extend the black rocks all the way to the gate, and then we're going to take up the wood mulch in this garden bed back here and put the rubber mulch back there. But this has done beautiful. Nothing has washed away during the rain. I mean, we haven't had much rain lately, but we're going to get rid of this wood mulch so it can stop spilling over into the gravel on both sides. We'll have rocks here and we'll have rubber mulch here. And this area is doing really well. My purple pixies, it's kind of hard to see with the mulch. I've got grass growing up, and then the Paul's Gold that are small, but they will get bigger. Then over here we have my hydrangea hedge. There is one missing there. I dug it out. It was dying, and I have another one that is planted in a pot, developing a nice root system, and then we're going to plant it in the fall here. So these I have 4. This one, the one in the pot, will go there. That one and that one down on the end. These are the little lime punch, and this is I know a lot of this bloom is brown, but it also has like a mauve color to it as well. It had hints of mauve and pink before they started turning brown. This is a Laura petalum. I have 3 of them in between the hydrangeas. The goal for these is to let it get a little bit bigger and taller, and then we're going to start limbing it up into a multi-trunk tree that will get about 5 to 6 feet tall up here, and then the hydrangeas will be low in between each one. And this is evergreen, and it has some burgundy hues also in the summertime. It just has turned green right now. I have 3 of those. I believe the name of it is the Sizzling Pink. It's the Sizzling Pink Laura petalum. Okay, I ended up moving my 2 pillars with the planters on top back here. They both have sedum on top of it, and they flank my gate to the backyard. And right here is my dwarf hinoki cypress. So let's head to the backyard. All right, coming through this backyard on my walkway, I have a lot of work to do here. We never put down mulch for the summertime, the spring and summer, but that's because it's still a work in progress. We planted all these purple pixies. A couple of them have died that I need to replace. I think it's only 2 of them the last time I looked at it and counted, but now I'm only seeing 1. I ordered like 13 or 14 of these, and when they came, some of them did not look good. So like this one had a lot of dead on it. I had to cut back some of the branches, and so it's still alive. It'll look good. This one was really tiny also. I mean, y'all, what can you say? I mean, just look at that. This is my chocolate mimosa tree, summer chocolate mimosa tree. Y'all remember when I planted it, and then like 3 to 4 weeks later, it dropped all of its leaves. And I thought it was dying like my previous one died. But then I dug it out of the ground, planted it in the pot, gave it some fertilizer, hooked it up to drip, and look at it. It started leafing back out immediately. And it is still putting out new leaves. Look, Look at that. That's brand new. That's brand new. Look at all that new growth we got. New growth up here. So it is just, I'm so happy with this. Cannot wait till it starts to bloom. I don't know if we'll get any blooms on it next year, but I am going to cover this. I'm going to buy a frost bag to cover this tree because it is borderline. I believe the hardy zone is 6 or 7 on this tree, and I don't want to take any chances. I know it's probably protected right here in this corner with the fence around it, but I don't want to take any chances, so I will buy a frost cloth and just cover it for the winter time. The same thing with all of my lower petalums. They are only hardy down to zone 7, and I have lost lower petalums before, so I will be covering all of these and also the ones in my front yard for the winter time. Here are my sunshine ligustrums that have bounced back at the beginning of the growing season in the spring. They were like, the whole backside didn't have any leaves. It looked dead, but I dug them up. I moved them over here, gave it some nice fertilizer, and they both leafed back out. Here is my budding bush, y'all. When I first planted this back in the beginning of the summer, it was about this size. It had like 2 tiny little twigs, and it was just sticks. There was no leaves at all. And this is at least 4 feet tall. Did not bloom this year, but just those beautiful green, healthy looking leaves. It's beautiful, and it's still putting out more. So this is the perfect spot for this. We do get a lot of water here, and this is a boggy plant. It loves wet feet, and so this is perfect here. I have another one over on my other side of the house as well. Let's make our way around. These are my 2 eclipse hydrangeas. They just get just a little bit of sun in the morning, and then the rest of the day they are in the shade, tucked up right up against the shed. That is why I put them here. They did not bloom this year, but just the beautiful foliage is all I need. Like, look at that. Those beautiful green stems and those dark, almost black leaves. It's just beautiful. This is my black dragon tree, Cryptomeria. It's kind of at a standstill. It's put on a little growth, but these things are very slow growing, so we'll see. Let's head around the curve. This is my sugar lip. Oh, the sun. Can you see? This is the not sugar lip, sugar tip. the sugar tip. Oh my goodness, what is the Rose of Sharon? The sugar tip Rose of Sharon that I planted. It is a standard, and so you can see at the bottom is tree form. I have it staked. It's got a lot of new little buds or leaves trying to come, but what is that? Is there something on them? Oh, yes. That is something on them, on the new buds coming out. So I need to figure out what those black dots are. I don't know if you can see that. But there are a lot of, you can see right there, all the little black dots on those new buds, new leaves trying to come out. There's something on here. It's not on every single one, but I would prefer to go ahead and spray something if I can figure out what it is. Let's go look at the other one. Gonna head around here. This is my phenomenal lavender, the lone one still surviving, and it is beautiful. It did not bloom this year, but I like that just there. This is the other sugar tip. Now, I don't see anything on this one. No, this one is fine. So yes, in front of these two windows will be the tree form sugar tip Rose of Sharon, and then the one on the other side. Then this is my row of Danica arborvitaes. So a little miniature hedge that'll be here, low growing. Flanking my shed is the mandevilla that is still blooming. I told you guys this thing is going to be blooming till a hard frost. Look, still putting out buds. Nothing has phased this mandevilla. 100-degree temperatures, it still looks beautiful and shiny like that. We will put it into the shed for the winter time. Over here in my shade garden, I have my, first let's talk about this sedum. I absolutely love it. This is the lime zinger, and I am trying to find more of it because I would like to put it over on the other side of my yard where I have other sedum that is not doing as well as this one, but it's doing really well. It's spreading. So I just love this low growing carpet that it is starting to create. And right across the front of this bed, it gets like full all day sun. So this is what is needed right here. Those lamb's ear are coming out. They are like, I think, the silver carpet. I don't like them, don't like the growth habit, so it's coming out. I just have some astilbe over here, some hostas that are tired and burnt for the season. Back here is my wax leaf ligustrum tree that I am limbing up into tree form slowly. I'm going to take off like 2 more of those small branches, possibly in the springtime, and this will get to be about 10 to 15 feet tall and about 10 feet wide. So it will provide shade over here for some of these plants. I have my oak leaf hydrangea back here. This is the Gatsby Moon or Gatsby Gal. I can't remember which one, but it has put on lots of growth. It was a quart size in the spring when I planted it, and look at how big it's grown. And look at this thick stem. It's huge. This is like a marker size. All right. So this is my Espalier fence border where I have the across the front I have 16 of the euonymus. This is the white album winter creepers. So I have one at the bottom of every single diamond. So there's 16 of them all across the front, and these are low growing, so they will get to be about 3 feet wide and about 2 feet tall. Then behind each one of those I have some iris bulbs. They did not bloom for me this year, but this is the very first year they've been in the ground. I have some more bulbs I'm gonna plant. I'm gonna try some alliums, try out more alliums. I planted alliums early this year and none of them, only like 2 of them bloomed, and they were so large they just kind of wilted over and died. And then I also have the Helen Von lamb's ear. Y'all, my tree, my emerald green, this is the one that got bagworms down on the bottom. We got them all. It is starting to recover. I can tell a big difference. So I'm happy that I did not dig this out and discard it. But I will be, next year, I will be treating all of my arborvitaes preventatively with spray. Just in case. I don't want any issues. Now, look at my honeysuckle with they have bloomed and now they have the berries. Oh, the birds are gonna love these. I have them on not every single one, but quite a few. All right. I don't know if you guys have watched previously or know about my plans for this area. I have killed off the grass. We are going to till this up, and then we are going to extend that patio out with those pavers. And then I am going to grow in between the pavers the ground cover, the Hydrangea ground cover. So this has been, I was supposed to do this project last fall, did not get to it. Then was supposed to do it in the spring, did not get to it. But I am definitely going to do it this fall. Once the temperatures cool down consistently and don't get so hot and sunny in the day, we will get started first by tilling, and then we will level the ground as best as we can, and we will tamp it down, put down the pavers, and I'm going to put in between the pavers a little bit of topsoil and compost, and just kind of let that sit. And then next spring we'll put down the seeds for the ground cover to grow. Here are my 2 boxwoods that I have in the back. So these are the only 4 sprinter boxwoods that I have on my property. The other boxwoods in the front of the house have been there since the home was built. I'm not sure what variety it is, but this is a sprinter, and this is a sprinter as well. I don't know why this one has this bronze color to it, but I'm going to water it a little bit more and give it a little bit more attention, and hopefully its green color will come back a little bit better. This is my rose bed, what I am calling my rose bed, because I have my Eden climber here. It has put on so much growth, y'all. I don't know if y'all remember when I planted this thing was tiny and it was only sticks, and look at it, like it got branches over there, stuff flowing on the ground. I need to come out here and tie them up onto the trellis. So this is the Eden climber, and I had even thought I need to go and purchase a second one to add to it, because I thought this trellis was too big for just one. But if it has put on this much growth in just like 2 months, I think I'm going to be fine with just that one. I have 2 liatris in front. They didn't do anything this year. They were really tiny plugs that I bought from a spring sale, and so we'll see what they do in the spring next year. These are all my echinaceas. I cut them back really hard because a couple of them had powdery mildew, and I think one of the ones that had powdery mildew real bad, I cut it all the way back and it looked like it has died. But I believe all of these are coming out. I will put these somewhere else, and then I'm going to bring some of my Gara from over there. Some of the Gara over there. I'm going to bring 2 or 3 of them right here in front of this window. I fell in love with Gara this year because of how it performed in my yard, and so I would love to be sitting in this room on the inside looking out into those wispy pink blooms. It'll be absolutely beautiful here, and it'll fill in this space nicely. I have another blue point juniper just because I love them. Y'all, these are some Paul's Gold that I have that I ordered off of Home Depot, I believe. And they were going to go at my mom's house, and they came looking like this. One of them is dying. I've been keeping them watered I don't know what's going on. These two are dying on the top. I'm going to return all of them. I don't want this. I was waiting to plant them at my mom's house in the fall, but this does not look good. That one is dead, and these two look like they're behind it. So we will return these and get 3 more. Back here I have my I'm drawing a blank. Cannot remember the name. But I will post on the screen the name of it. It's right on the tip of my tongue, and I don't know why I cannot remember, but they are here. They all did beautiful. The only thing about this is you have to come out and you have to deadhead them, and I'm not very good with deadheading plants, so but they bloom beautifully. I have 3 here, and I have a couple of other places in my landscape. Over here in this corner bed, this is where I want the other sedum in the other corner, the lime zinger. I want it to go here, because you see this sedum down here. I had some sedum ground cover here, and there's one right there, and there were some more pieces here, and like there's one right there, but it doesn't like this spot. I don't know if it gets too much water right here or what, but it doesn't like this spot. And then these sedums right here, they just fall over. I had some stakes in it to try to stake them up, but I only put the back. I don't know why I didn't put the front, but yeah, I think these were gonna come out. I don't like the way this looks right here on the front of the border. Like, look at that right there. It's just laying onto the ground. But meanwhile, look at the other sedums. This is the autumn joy, and this is another autumn joy back here that is completely shaded out by the Gara. That is why the Gara is going to move. But y'all look at it, it's giving me another flush of blooms. I never even deadheaded it at all, but I do believe if I had a deadhead, it probably would have bloomed a lot quicker. But all of these will come out. A couple will go over in my rose garden in front of that window, and then the rest of these are going to go behind these globe arborvitaes in front of the tree. Look at my Limelight hydrangea. It's beautiful as it wants to be. I've got some agastache over here. It did not bloom, but that one and that one, I think this is called like the Sprite. It's supposed to smell like Sprite, and I believe this one is like an orange color, but it is the Sprite agastache. I have 2. I had 3, but there are only 2 left. And I'm not sure if this is the agastache after all, because I planted agastache and I also planted something else right here with it, and I cannot remember what I put in the back. When I find out, I will post it on the screen what these 2 are. Here are my purple daydream across the front. There are 5 of them, and the Gara is like leaning over on them, shading them out. So yeah, when I move this Gara, all of the plants will be happier here. I have some low growing Veronica. It gave me a beautiful white bloom show in the spring, and then in spring, early summer, and then once I deadheaded it, I did not get another bloom, another cycle. So, but I love this low growing carpet, this color here, this icy blue silver color. I got some echinacea here that needs to be deadheaded. This is a big weed, y'all. This is so funny, true story. So this was really tiny, and it was right up against this echinacea, and I thought I had planted 2 echinaceas right back to back. So I dug it out, and then I moved it back, and I fertilized it. I thought it was another plant. Well, no, it's just a big weed, and it has taken over into this huge mass. I need to dig it out. This is my other Dodge spider webs. This is my other Eden climber here. And I need to have it come over and start tying it up to the trellis because it's like all leaning the opposite way. This is my globosa, Nana globosa. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's not liking the back side, but it'll be fine. This is my Firelight hydrangea. I have two of them, one here and then one over there. It has enough room to get big as it wants to be here. And look at the color, the rose color that is starting to put off on its blooms. That's just a big weed back there. This is my orange rocket, barberry. This beautiful color. And y'all, I have pruned these things twice this year. And look at it. These are the dapple willow shrubs. I have 4 shrubs here, and then I have 2 trees over there. But look, it is still growing. All of this. Oh, and it has something in it. There you go. What is this? Yeah, it has something. These spider mites. Oh yeah. I don't know if you guys can see all those black dots. I think these are spider mites. I'm glad I came out here today. And it's all on the new growth. Yeah, they like that new growth. So we will spray something on this as well and cut it back. I have another, along with all of the weeds, all of the nutsedge weed that has been taking over my gardens this year. This is the foxtail fern. This one gets a little bit bigger back here, but it's still not as big as it was when I first purchased it. Have a lot of grass trying to creep into the bed. I haven't been out here to weed or clean this grass up at all. This is my Eagleston holly tree. I have 3 of them. They will grow up about 20 feet tall to kind of shade out some of the rooftops and give us some more privacy here. And they are evergreen. Coming on around this way. Now here's my other button bush back here. Sugar Shack button bush. It does not get as much sun as the other one does because it's shaded out by this tree, but this is a low-lying corner of my yard which gets a lot of wet boggy soil, and that bush loves it, so that's why I put it back here. At some point we have realized that we have another 3 to 4 feet of land on the other side of this fence, so this fence at some point will be removed, taken out, and will be moved back that way, so I will have another 3 to 4 feet for that button bush to get bigger. Right here I have, oh, let's talk about this, y'all. This is my baby Joe Pye weed, along with some more weeds and grass, but this baby Joe Pye weed is over here. It is a perennial. It loves moisture and wet feet, so that is why I put it over here. And it is also a pollinator magnet. When it bloomed, it was like a lavender pinkish. It's like a soft pink lavender. Oh, look at the bee. I had a monarda here. Actually, I had two of them. I had to dig one of them out, and and it died. But this one is starting to spread. It bloomed. It was beautiful, but then I had to cut them back. Some must still be that I left the bloom heads on it after they were done, just because I like that structure that it brings. Here is my other firelight hydrangea and some more sedums over there. And my trees, y'all, these things were getting out of control. I just couldn't help it. One day last week I came out here with my electric DeWalt pruner, and I just started hacking away at it. So I kind of prune them off into more of a lollipop shape, and we'll see what it does. And then I'm going to also prune these back as well. I have my two, these are the Little Henry Sweet Spires. I had pruned these back, but they're starting to put on some new growth as well. The Little Henry Sweet Spires, something is eating on them because you see those leaves have holes in them. But these are the bloom heads. These are long, and in the springtime when it bloomed, it was just like these long white blooms, and they were absolutely beautiful. I did not cut those off, but I will. When I come back through in the fall, I will shape these up, and I'll cut off all those old bloom heads. And y'all, this is what I have new. This is my new garden bed. It is a rock garden / no dig sheet mulch around my garden shed. I have some evergreen azaleas there and a hedge over here. I plan on putting a tall evergreen specimen there, and then one in the back on that side as well. And then here, I just finished this all actually yesterday. This is the azalea. This is the Perfecto Mundo fuchsia carpet, and it is a reblooming azalea. I have two of the little lime punch hydrangeas that I purchased just so I would have extra in case some over on my paver walkway died. I have two of those I have potted here, and they can just live here and grow here and be beautiful. And if I ever need it over on the other side, I can just take one. Y'all, this is my little lime prime or limelight prime hydrangea tree. Some of those branches are getting crispy, but it's alive. Actually, yesterday I just cut off a bunch of it was having some growth coming from the trunk, and so I had to cut off a bunch of growth that was starting to try to push out. And I just have a couple of pots here. These are going to be moved when I finish with the patio. These are going to move out, and then I'm going to remove that ground cover, and that is the actual ground cover that is going to go in between the pavers for my two paver extensions. So over here on my driveway side, I still have my two planters with my favorite hosta, which is the guacamole there. I have here I had a coleus in this pot that it had gotten a lot of sunburn. They were like falling over, so I cut it back. Don't know if I'll get any growth before the end of the season, but we'll see. These are all of my hostas that I have. These four are the firelight tidbits for my front yard, and then I have that one that is the little lime punch that's going to go over on my paver walkway. I've got a couple of clearance hostas back there that I am going to plant in the fall. This is my kind of area that I just hold on to plants and rehab them. This is my new tree, which is not looking so new and beautiful. I had one that died, and then I purchased another one, and then as soon as I planted it, like a month later, it died. And so I took it back and I got this one, and actually is giving me a new leaf. So that is reassuring. It's got some burnt edges that I need to cut off. And at some point I am going to move this back closer to the house, as I think when it was pulled out closer to the front it was getting too much sun. So if I like push it back and more in the corner so that you can still see it when you drive up, but it's not in the front here, it won't get too much sun. Here I have a couple of pots with some sedum, this autumn joy sedum that I had meant to take to my backyard at some point this summer, and it just never happened. I have more plants here, some plants that have died that I need to pull out. That my I cannot remember the name of that. The dragon prince went ahead on and died. Don't know what happened to it. It did not look good for the past 2 years. It kept having little dead spots, and I would cut off the brown tips and then they would come back, and I would cut more off and then it would come back. But it still had a lot of green to it, so I knew it was still alive. And then once I dug it out of the ground and put it in a pot, then like this whole section was dead. So I cut all of that out and I said, well, maybe it'll come back now that it's in the pot. But it didn't. It went ahead and died. So we'll get rid of all of that. That was a lemon lime Nandina that died, and then it's also got some weeds growing out of that pot, so we will clean all of that up. And last but not least is the end of my driveway garden bed, where I have like a row of hostas, and then on the corner I have the Carl Forster grass. I have 3 of them. The two smaller ones I moved here just this year, and so they have put on some growth, but they are definitely not as big as this one. But next year they should get a lot better. These hostas are very crispy. I did not prune them when I did my summer maintenance, so they look horrible. The cars have been over it. I thought they were getting enough shade, but obviously they weren't. So we'll have to rethink what we do here. I think I'm going to remove these and put something else that can handle more sun. But that won't be until the spring. I believe I'm going to remove these and take a couple to my mom's house and take the rest to my mother-in-law's house, where they both have more shade than I do, and these will just love it there. And with that, guys, we have come to the end of my garden tour. I have no idea how long this video is. I'm scared to look, but I got it all in one. I will see what we can do about editing, but I do apologize for the length of it. I just wanted to share with you guys what we have at the end of August in my garden, and with that, I want to say happy holidays. Enjoy your Labor Day, whether it is morning, afternoon, or evening when you're watching this. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and enjoy the rest of it, friends. Bye, guys.